Hello, Esterbrook. Hello, YCS students. This is Mrs. Schwartz coming to you live from my basement to teach you an assignment about recycled materials and making a tower out of them. So for this assignment, you're going to need a couple of things, either from a junk drawer or you're going to use things from your recycled containers. For me, I am going to use some recycled tubes. I have some from toilet paper containers, toilet paper tubes, some paper towel tubes. I'm using rolled up newspaper, and I will show you how to make those in a minute. I am using some yogurt containers. These used to house some mushrooms in these cans. Frosting containers. And then I have some lids that I might be able to use. But I'm going to put those off to the side for now. I have some tape. You might also want to use some paper clips if you have them handy, or rubber bands, string if you have it. Anything to help tie things down. If you're going to use tape, use it sparingly. Don't use it like a large piece of ribbon. You can use a hole punch to make holes in containers, to tie things to it. Or you can use scissors to cut slits into the cardboard and into the paper and slot things together. And I can show you how to do that as well. But to start with, I want to see how I can build this tower and create it to make it tall. So I'm gonna start this out and have the containers laying down, and then we'll see how I can build it up. So let's see, to start with, I am going to take, let's say, this small container here. I'm going to lay it on its side, and we'll use pieces of tape here. I'm going to put pieces of tape on the inside here, just a little piece, and then I'm going to use it like it's an arm or a foot, and I'm going to tape it to the outside of the container. I have to put one piece of tape here and one on the inside of the tube to the inside of the container. That'll keep it from flopping around. Now, while I do that one, I also have to do it to the next one too. I'm going to place it on the inside of the tube like this. Can you see that? I'm going to place it not completely across, but about a third of the way, because I'm going to use about 3 of these. I'm going to scratch it in place with my fingernail because I really want it to stick. I'm going to turn this thing completely around, and I'm going to put one on the outside in the same place. I don't need this to stay together forever, but I want this to stand for at least 30 seconds after the whole thing is built. If I can find a tennis ball or a racquetball, I want it to stand long enough to see if my structure can hold a ball up. Let's have it hold it on the inside first. Oops. Not all of my pieces of tape that I do are going to work. But I'm hoping they do. So I can pinch this here and I can tape it right here, but I want to make sure that the shape of the leg is going to work. So I don't want to change the shape of it too much. Let's see if it stands on its own. If it doesn't, then I know I need to move one of the legs somewhere because it's too tippy. And that tends to happen sometimes. Nothing we can do about that. Move it to the left, move it to the right. Try again. There. And it's standing on its own, ladies and gentlemen. That's good. Okay, so now that we got it up that high, we're ready to try another. I'm going to see if I can move my camera to a higher place and we can keep going. Okay, let's try this again. So we have our structure that's standing tall. While it's standing, we can continue to build. We can put other things on top, decide where we want them to be. Remember, we want to have 5 containers tall. Each container, each object that we use counts as a container. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put one here and then it counts as done, but I want to try and use everything that I have in front of me with as little tape as possible. So if I put one here and I put this inside, yes, I've used a lot of containers, but I want to make it as tall as I can. So I can put one here and put this one here and it's taller. What if I did something with these? I can certainly build this taller this way and that taller. I can turn it into a robot. If I taped it in place, it might stay. I can turn it into a creature and give it feet. What could I do? I think it could hold a tennis ball at this point. I'm not exactly sure. But can't do anything with it yet until after it's all held in place. So it's not a hard assignment to do, but it's certainly harder if you don't have the materials saved. See what you have at home. See what way you want to create the structure. So to make the tube of newspaper, let me show you how to do that. I simply took a piece of newspaper that was folded in half, having a sheet of newspaper that has 2 pieces. It's already folded in half for you. See that? It's folded already. I didn't cut it till after it was rolled. I'm simply getting it started by rolling it up nice and tight so it looks like a tube that you can put to your mouth and blow. So once it's rolled up, you can take a piece of tape and put it at both ends of the newspaper. If you know you're going to cut it, you can put a piece of tape right before the cut. And you can make a cut with your scissors. Put a piece of tape right before that and it won't unravel. But you can make it all the legs of your newspaper the same length. I took a ruler and I measured out 6 inches and I drew a line on the newspaper so I knew that they were going to be exactly 6 inches long. And I have 2 short pieces left, which I could use or I don't have to use, but they are exactly the same. And I have 2 short ones that I can use or just leave to the side. But with the newspaper that I had from the last 2 weeks, I have enough to make 3 pieces, 3 legs, because of all the newspaper that's been coming into the house. All right, So if you do not have pieces of tape that you can do this with, how can you attach them in place? You can use glue. Glue takes a little bit longer for it to dry. You need the drying time. You could make some holes, little pinholes and things, and tie them in place. It is also a little tougher, but it can be done. Again, make sure that when you're taping things in place that things don't move. Right now this is starting to tip and it will fall. So I already know that I moved this one container and I need to relocate it. So I'm going to carefully pick up the tape. I'm going to leave it on the cardboard, but I'm going to move it just a little bit and see where it needs to go to. And see if I put this up here again, where it needs to go so it can be balanced. It's also better that when you're balancing it, that you tape it in at least 3 or 4 places. So tape it on 2 opposite sides, and then tape it on the 2 opposite sides that from there as well. So 1 here, 1 opposite there, 1 here, 1 opposite there. So I have 3 legs. I have 4 pieces of tape. This one I've got balanced on top, but if I want to do 3 pieces of tape, I have 1 here, 1 part a third of the way around, 1 a third of the way around, or I'm going to do 4 pieces of tape, 1 here, 1 on the opposite side, 1 here, 1 on the opposite side. Okay, so you got choices, lots of choices. Make it as tall as you want, make it medium height if you want, but I really want to see which student is going to make it the tallest. This right now isn't that tall. This is 12, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 inches tall. That's almost 2 rulers tall. This is only 21 inches tall. I know you guys can have me beat really easily. I still have a couple paper tubes sitting around here that I could make it taller without it falling over. So now it's taller. Now that's easily 2 rulers tall. Let's see what you can do to make it that tall. So take on this challenge, if you will. Take pictures of your tall tower. See if you can balance a tennis ball on the top of yours. I'd be really anxious to see if it will balance. You only have to balance it for 30 seconds. Let's see how it turns out. This is a Science Olympiad challenge for balancing a ball at the very top. I think you can do it. I know you can do it. So we will have some Science Olympiad winners for next year if you can do this. It's not just an art challenge. It is a science challenge. And you can put your recycling back afterwards, after your art project, but please take a picture of it and send it in. Show me what it looks like before you take it apart. But if you want to decorate it afterwards, please do so. I would like to see what they look like. And until the next project, take care, stay safe. I love you. See you soon.